Welcome to Deep Tale Studio, a place where every shadow hides a story, and every story hides something darker. The road to Black Hollow Forest was long, empty, and strangely quiet. For friends Ayan, Bilal, Hamza, and Samir had planned the camping trip for weeks. They wanted adventure, a break from the city. But the moment their car passed the rusty sign that read, Black Hollow Forest, enter at your own risk, an uneasy feeling crept into the air. The forest looked normal, tall trees, thick fog drifting between branches. But locals had warned them that people who entered sometimes never came back. The friends laughed it off as a silly legend. As they drove deeper, their phones slowly lost signal until the screens showed nothing but empty bars. Perfect, Samir joked. No calls, no internet, just peace. They finally found a small clearing and set up their tent as the sun began to set. The forest became darker much faster than expected, and the wind moved through the branches with a whispering sound that almost felt like voices. They lit a small campfire and started telling ghost stories just to entertain themselves. Hours passed, and eventually they climbed into the tent to sleep. Around midnight, Ayan suddenly woke up. At first he thought it was the wind, but then he heard something clearer, faint whisper just outside. Someone was saying his name, Ayan. The voice was low, almost carried by the wind. He sat up quickly. Did you guys hear that? The others woke up confused. Then the whisper came again, this time saying another name, Bilal. Hamza nervously unzipped the tent and looked outside with a flashlight. The beam cut through the fog and trees, but there was no one there. Probably animals, Samir said, though his voice trembled. Morning finally arrived, bringing weak sunlight through the trees. They decided to explore before heading home. As they walked deeper, they noticed the trees seemed strangely similar, as if they had passed them before. Look, Bilal said, pointing ahead. Hidden between the trees stood an old wooden cabin, covered in moss and vines, as if abandoned for decades. Curiosity quickly replaced their fear. They slowly stepped closer and pushed the door open. Inside the cabin was dusty and silent, but on a small wooden table sat something unexpected, a video camera. It looked old but strangely clean compared to everything else. Samir picked it up. To their surprise, the battery still worked. The screen flickered to life, revealing several recorded videos stored inside. The first recording showed a group of campers laughing. The footage suddenly became shaky, and a faint whisper could be heard calling someone's name. Another clip showed two hikers looking scared. This forest doesn't let us leave, one said. The recording cut to black. The last video file was labeled only with tomorrow's date. Confused, Samir pressed play. At first, it showed their own camp clearing. The four friends stared in horror as the video showed them laughing and carrying their gear into the clearing exactly as they had done earlier. This isn't possible, Hamza whispered. The recording continued, showing them entering the same forest path they had just taken. The footage ended with the camera turning toward the dark forest while whispering voices spoke all four of their names together. The cabin fell silent. A cold wind blew through the broken window, making the door creak. We should leave, Bilal said quickly. They rushed out and began walking back, but the forest seemed different now. Every direction appeared the same. After hours, they realized the truth: they were lost. The sun set again, and the whispers returned from every direction. The friends ran blindly until they suddenly stopped. In front of them stood the same old cabin again. Ayan understood the horrifying reality. The camera hadn't predicted their future. It had recorded the moment the forest chose them. And now, like the people in the other videos, they were part of its story forever. Subscribe to Deep Tale Studio for more dark stories, because some tales don't end when the video does.